Okay, got you back up on the stand, and we are focused on the carburetor. So first things first, on just to the right of the carburetor on your sticker is going to have actually some of your owner's information. So this is a 2012 140cc, gives you the model number, which is CBSXS.141VA. So it gives you an idea of what we're working with. So this is a 2012 model engine, at least. It may be a little bit newer of a chassis, because on the down here on the right hand corner is actual model number of the deck. So we may have a difference of a couple years between when the mower was made and when the actual motor was made. So we're going to start by pulling off our air cleaner. So tear that apart. It's a Briggs & Stratton original air filter. Honestly, this thing is pretty nasty and can barely see through it. So not saying that that's the actual culprit, but let's I'm gonna see if I can't fire it up real quick up here on the workbench. So definitely still not firing. They use really small wrenches for this, and unfortunately that's some of the design issues with Briggs & Stratton over some other models. So let me go grab a tool set that I know that's going to have some torque bits on it so I can get these apart, and we're going to tear this out and see what we got going on. So I will be right back. Okay, so to get the two Torx head screws off, it is a T20 Torx bit to get this off. So I'm using my little air impact. Caution, it is plastic units around here, so be very careful. Do not tighten them down very tight. So and then past that, I believe you're going to need a 5/16 to get these two off. So be careful when you pull this out. So got your air cleaner or air return, pops onto your air cleaner as well. So most of this is going to be a plastic assembly, so we're going to be very cautious. Like I was saying earlier, when you go to tear this apart, kind of have to be very careful. So our fuel line is right here from our tank to our carburetor. Unfortunately, there's not very much hose to this design, so take a pair of pliers. Let me see if I can grab another pair that's over here real quick. Woo, just about fell. Sorry about that. I hammered the camera. So take your hose clamp off, slide it back, get it out of the way, and then just like before, the gas is going to come out. So use that, clamp it off. You can also use that to work with pulling it back. There's that. Then we got a couple linkages to worry about. choke spring, which simply just clips on or off, however you want to think of that. And that actually goes around a post that's back here. Then we got a linkage here. I wonder if this pries off. Nope. Just give her a little tug. She'll slide right off. That'll give us some room to finagle and get our linkages off. There's one. And there's number two. So now let's go ahead and get this camera reset up a little bit, and we're going to give this thing a good cleaning. So unfortunately, you see most of this is plastic, so you got to be careful. There's not much to one of these carburetors, just a couple springs, and that's really about it. So I don't think it's going to take too much to get this running the right way. So let's get you reset up, and I'm going to grab a bowl so we can check the fuel that's coming out of both of these, and we'll get you a close-up on this and start tearing it apart. So I'll be right back. First things first, we are going to check the fuel that's actually inside of our gas tank. So I got a mason jar, and I am going to get that in there. That should be good. So with this, what you're going to look for, any kind of sediment, debris will actually settle to the bottom of your mason jar. So in this case, the fuel looks actually pretty good. It might be a little on the dirtier side because I do see some sediment floating around in it, but that also could simply just be from the jar itself. So looks good. So I'm going to put this back in. Next step, we are going to try to get whatever we got in here out. That's most of it. Same thing, you're gonna notice the coloring is a lot darker. I don't see any separation because normally, like I said, you'd see a line of clear at the bottom that would be water, but that's extremely dark compared to what was in the top. So that tells me we got a little funk going on in there. May not be terrible, but we're gonna leave that out for now. We're gonna tear in to our carburetor. So let's move you over. And let's get you torn apart. So with these, same T20 Torx. Nope. Seeing if the same nut was the same size, so, but it is Torx heads, so. So T20 Torx takes those two off. That should, unless that's holding it on. So let's see what I can find that'll fit that. We found the tool that we needed. So, 10mm Allen wrench. Thought I had one, just wasn't for sure if it was going to be big enough. So, it does fit it. Quarter turn, pops, comes right out. Same thing like most other carburetors. So it's gonna have a pin. That pin's gotta come out. Take your pin out. That's gonna free your float bowl and your needle valve. So float bowl, needle valve, and there's nothing about this carburetor that is exactly easy to work with. So I don't want to go too crazy with this. I mean, worst case is I break it, but it already don't run. I can see the gunk in here. I just don't know how this comes apart without completely destroying it. Let me see if I got a small screwdriver, which I do. I don't want to pry on this too much because it's not very obvious how this comes apart. It doesn't, it almost looks like it's not serviceable, but it should be. I'm not able to find the actual nozzle that attaches to this, but from what I can see, this might. So it does. So this needle, your fuel goes in here, shoots up, and comes out the top. I can actually see it. I'll try to get it on camera if you guys can see up the middle. You'll see the fuel coming up through the middle. So this should be clean. I don't think there's anything in there. So yeah, we're gonna stick this back together and we're gonna see what happens. So go in reverse order. Needle goes on your float. So might be able to see if I do it that way. Then the pen. Try and do this so you guys can see. So pen goes in. It didn't go in right. Then cap goes back on, or the bowl in this case, and this particular one has, this is basically a drain, so we should have been able to get that off without taking that off. Nice audible click. Put a drain back on. I guess it only lets you go on one way. So again, don't want to go super tight. Then we're going to put this back in. So let's get you reset back up and get this reinstalled. Go in reverse order you started. So in this case, we've got 2 linkages. That's your governor, and that is the choke. So let's start by doing that one first. Then we will do our choke cable next. Which is that way. So now that we got those back on, here comes the little helper and the guard dogs. Slide that all the way back. Nope.
Yeah. I'll have to do that this week.
No, I'll get it. that looks good. Choke looks good. So you got the spring goes from the back corner to the front lip. You got your choke cable coming from the front corner over here. Then you got your throttle cable, which is attached to your governor that runs to the back over here. Last thing left to do is attach your fuel line.
Daddy, I can't get mommy.
Move our fuel hose clamp over. Kenneth, what are you doing?
Nothing.
Okay. And then air vent is going to go up top. Machine screws go on the metal brackets. Which they're gonna fight me. Let's do the back one first. There we go. Kenneth, please step away from the camera. Ryan. Then last piece is our 2 torque screws. These are just threading into plastic, so do not go tight with them. There we go. So this is completely put back together. It's clean as it's going to get. If this does not work, we'll have to order a new carburetor. So let's get this set back up. We'll get on the ground. We'll try to give it a couple test fires and see if we can get it to start. Okay, well, we're back on the ground. There's no primer. Just pull the safety cord, yank it. So there you go. We were able to get it to start and run, so that's fantastic. So we'll do a full tune-up on it and get this one out the door. That is it. So if you guys liked the video, give me a thumbs up. If you don't, give me a thumbs down. I use the thumbs to track down videos to figure out what you guys like and what you don't like for future videos. Also, make sure you go slap the subscription. I think it's in the top right corner, top left, wherever it is. Give me the slap for your subscription. Also, if you're interested in AMSOIL, go check out the link down below for that. Also, I will send a link down below for the Amazon products that was purchased for this, which was the air filter box and assembly and all that, and the spark plug. Other than that, I believe that is everything, and you all have a fantastic and wonderful day. Thank you very much for watching, and have a good one.